The Caucasus Mountains, a majestic barrier stretching between the Black and Caspian Seas, stand as a testament to time and nature's grandeur. For millennia, these mountains have served as a vital crossroads of cultures and empires, a place where east meets west. Their towering peaks create isolated valleys, cradling ancient forests and hidden communities, untouched by the modern world. These are places where secrets linger, shrouded in mist and whispered on the wind. This region is a vibrant tapestry of diverse ethnicities, each thread representing a unique culture and history. And with each culture comes its own set of captivating legends, passed down through generations. Here, stories of mythical beings and ancient spirits are intricately woven into the fabric of daily life, blurring the lines between reality and folklore. These tales are shared and embellished around crackling evening fires, connecting the present to the distant past. The mountains are more than just a geographical feature. They're a living archive of mysteries, holding secrets within their ancient stones and shadowy depths. The forests of Abkhazia, nestled along the Black Sea coast, are particularly known for their enigmatic tales and unexplained phenomena. The dense forest canopy hides a world of mystery, where the rustling leaves seem to whisper secrets. Locals speak of strange, two-legged creatures lurking in the woods, beings that are not quite human, yet undeniably present. These aren't just fanciful fairy tales spun for children. For many, they represent a tangible part of their unwritten history, a connection to something ancient and unknown. The wild, rugged, and often inaccessible terrain makes it easy to believe that something extraordinary, something unknown, could not only survive but thrive here, hidden from the outside world. Imagine dense, primeval forests where sunlight barely filters through the canopy, casting long, eerie shadows on the forest floor, steep, treacherous gorges, and hidden caves that have remained untouched for millennia, preserving secrets within their silent depths. In such places, the line between myth and reality becomes increasingly blurred, almost indistinguishable. The tantalizing idea that undiscovered creatures might actually exist here, in these remote corners of the earth, has captivated and fascinated researchers and cryptozoologists for decades, driving them to explore the unknown. Among all the captivating legends and whispered rumors, one particular story stands out from the rest. A tale of a creature not just glimpsed fleetingly in the shadows, but captured, studied, and brought into the heart of human society, challenging everything we thought we knew. Her name was Zana, a name that echoes through the annals of cryptozoology. Her extraordinary tale begins in the 19th century, a time of exploration and discovery, in the isolated and remote Abkhazian village of Tikhina, a place steeped in tradition and folklore. It's a story that challenges our very understanding of human origins and the boundaries of what is possible. What else might be lurking, still hidden and undiscovered, in the forgotten corners of our vast and mysterious world? The legend of Zana is not just a campfire story, it's a documented mystery, a historical enigma, that continues to puzzle and intrigue scientists and researchers even today, beckoning them to unravel its secrets. Across the Caucasus and Central Asia, stories persist of the Almasty, a large bipedal hairy hominid. Descriptions are consistent, ape-like, powerful, with a conical head and long arms. The Almasty is shy, nocturnal, and avoids humans living in remote forests. Locals say they're strong, agile, and not aggressive unless threatened. These tales aren't isolated. They span vast regions and generations. Russian scientist Boris Porshnev collected these accounts, noting they didn't match any known animal. He theorized the Almasty could be a relict hominid, perhaps a Neanderthal survivor. This context is crucial for understanding Zana's story. When she appeared, locals saw her as a living example of the wild people from their legends. Her appearance and behavior matched the Almasty of their oral tradition. For them, Zana was confirmation of something they already believed. Zana's story begins around 1850, a time of exploration and discovery, when hunters, commissioned by Prince Akba, a local ruler with a penchant for the unusual, set out on a mission to capture a strange, ape-like creature, a being whispered about in local legends. The creature was said to roam near the Zadan Mountains, a remote and formidable region. The hunt was difficult, the terrain was treacherous, she was fast, a blur of movement in the dense undergrowth, strong, possessing a raw, untamed power, and elusive, disappearing into the mists and shadows as quickly as she appeared. Eventually, after a prolonged and arduous chase, they subdued her, by entangling her in cloaks, a desperate measure to restrain her wild movements, and binding her with rope, securing her for the journey ahead. Zana fought fiercely, resisting with every fiber of her being, terrifying her captors with her wildness and unyielding spirit. She was brought to the prince's estate, a place of opulence and order, kept in a strong enclosure, a makeshift prison designed to contain her extraordinary strength. Her behavior was violent and untamed. She was a creature of the wild, unused to captivity. She dug pits to sleep in, seeking the comfort of the earth, and ate raw food, rejecting the cooked meals offered to her. Villagers were both fearful and fascinated, drawn to her primal nature by her strength. She could outrun horses, a testament to her incredible athleticism, and swim flooded rivers, navigating the raging waters with ease. Unable to manage her, the prince, overwhelmed by her wildness, gave Zana to Enigma, who brought her to Tikina, a remote village nestled in the mountains. There she would spend the rest of her life, no longer caged but still a captive of circumstance. Zana's arrival marked the beginning of one of history's most compelling anthropological mysteries, a puzzle that continues to intrigue researchers today. The village of Tikina became the setting for her extraordinary story, a stage upon which her life would unfold. Her presence would challenge the boundaries between myth and reality, blurring the lines of what was known and believed. And her legend was only just beginning, a tale that would echo through the ages. Upon arriving at Enigma's estate, Zana's integration into this new environment was far from seamless. She remained wild and fearful, a creature caught between two worlds. Initially, she was kept confined for years, a necessary measure to ensure the safety of both herself and those around her. She didn't understand the local language or customs, finding herself completely isolated in a world she couldn't comprehend. As a result, she reacted with aggression to any approach, viewing any attempt at interaction as a potential threat. Eyewitnesses who encountered her during those early years described her as tall, broad, and immensely strong, possessing a physical presence that was both intimidating and awe-inspiring. Her body was covered in thick, reddish-black hair, a feature that further emphasized her primal nature. Her face was dark, with a wide mouth, adding to her unique and striking appearance. She had high cheekbones and a powerful jaw, features that spoke of resilience and an untamed spirit. These distinct features set her apart dramatically from any local population, making her an anomaly in their midst. Over time, as she grew accustomed to her surroundings, Zana became more placid, her initial fear gradually subsiding. She was allowed more freedom, and began to learn simple tasks by imitation, observing and mirroring the actions of those around her. Despite her progress, she never spoke, remaining a figure of silence and mystery. However, she could perform chores like grinding grain or carrying heavy loads, demonstrating a remarkable physical capability. Despite this gradual taming, she retained many wild habits, a testament to her untamed origins. She preferred sleeping outdoors, under the open sky, and consistently rejected clothing, finding it restrictive and unnecessary. She also favored eating simple foods, displaying a preference for the unrefined and natural. She developed a fondness for grapes and wine, treats which the villagers sometimes offered her, perhaps as a gesture of acceptance or curiosity. Ultimately, Zana remained a silent, enigmatic figure, a puzzle that no one could quite solve. She lived on the edge of human society, forever straddling the line between the civilized world and the untamed wilderness. Her immense strength and resilience became legendary in the village, tales of her feats whispered among the locals. She was both a curiosity, a subject of endless fascination, and a constant reminder of the wild world that lay just beyond their cultivated fields. The villagers watched as she slowly adapted to their ways, yet she never fully belonged, forever an outsider looking in. Zana's early years in Tikina, marked by both confinement and gradual integration, set the stage for the many mysteries and unanswered questions that would follow her extraordinary life. Over time, Zana became a permanent if unusual part of Tikina. She responded to her name and understood simple commands, performing chores with her great strength. Her relationship with Enigma was complex. He was both her owner and protector. Under his authority, Zana bore several children, fathered by different men in the village. As a being without language, she was vulnerable to exploitation. Her first children did not survive, likely due to her wild instincts. Later, villagers took her babies at birth, raising them as their own. This ensured their survival and integration into the community. Zana lived out her days in Tikina, dying around 1890, and buried in the local cemetery. Her life closed one chapter but opened another, the scientific quest to uncover her origins. Zana had at least 4 children who survived 2 sons and 2 daughters raised by local families. Unlike their mother, they integrated fully into society, marrying and having children of their own. Their existence provided tangible evidence of Zana's story. They combined traits from both parents: dark skin, strong features, and remarkable strength. Quit, her youngest son, was especially known for his power and temper. Russian researchers in the mid-20th century interviewed villagers and Zana's descendants, documenting consistent accounts of her life and children. Quit's grave, unlike Zana's, was known and accessible. Scientists realized his remains could hold the key to Zana's origins. By studying his bones and DNA, they hoped to move beyond folklore to scientific proof. The investigation into Zana's lineage would hinge on the evidence found in Quit's grave. The search for answers was about to enter a new era. The mystery of Zana was now a matter for science. In the 1970s, Russian researcher Igor Burtsev traveled to Tikhina, determined to find physical evidence of Zana's story. He interviewed locals and located Quit's grave in the family cemetery. In 1971, Burtsev exhumed Quit's skeleton, a breakthrough for the investigation. The skull displayed a mix of modern and archaic features: prominent brow ridges, robust facial structure. Soviet anthropologist Emma Kolodieva noted its unusual traits, not typical of the local population. These findings suggested Zana's maternal lineage might be from a group very different from modern humans. However, bone analysis alone couldn't prove Zana was a non-sapiens hominid. The features could still fall within human variation. For definitive answers, science needed a new tool: genetic analysis. Quit's carefully preserved bones held a genetic secret waiting for future technology. The next step would be to unlock that secret through DNA. The legend of Zana was about to face the scrutiny of modern science. The world waited for answers that only genetics could provide. The mystery deepened, but hope for resolution grew. Decades later, DNA analysis offered a chance to solve Zana's mystery. In 2013, Professor Brian Sykes of Oxford sequenced mitochondrial DNA from Quit's tooth, tracing Zana's maternal ancestry. The results were astonishing. Zana's DNA was unequivocally human, belonging to a haplogroup found only in sub-Saharan Africa. She was not a Neanderthal or Almasty, but a modern human. This raised new questions. How did a woman of African descent end up in 19th century Abkhazia? Sykes suggested her ancestors may have been brought by the Ottoman slave trade, then escaped into the mountains. Generations of isolation could explain her wildness and unusual traits. Her physical power and features, while striking, were within human variation. DNA gave Zana a clear biological identity, but her life remained extraordinary. The mystery shifted from cryptozoology to lost human history. Zana's story was reframed, but not diminished. DNA identified Zana as a Homo sapiens of African origin, but her personal history remains a mystery. How did she or her ancestors come to the Caucasus? Was she descended from escaped slaves, or is there another story? Eyewitness accounts describe her as profoundly different, with ape-like features and immense strength. Some of this may be exaggeration, but the consistency is hard to ignore. Could Zana have belonged to a lost, isolated African population with archaic traits? Science is silent so far. Quit's DNA also showed sub-Saharan markers, hinting at a complex genetic tapestry in the region. The full genome of Zana herself has yet to be sequenced. Her story remains a testament to the unknown, a woman living between the wild and human worlds. Science has given us her genetic identity, but not her voice or her experience. Zana's legend endures as a profound and tragic human story, challenging our understanding of the past.